Subscriber request. Hey man, I'm struggling with this defense. How can I stop it? Coming up next. Hey, this is Full Game Prometheus, the only YouTuber that actually gives you full games of all the tips and schemes I post on my channel. I'll show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Alright, so guys, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, also that notification icon, so you can get my uploads on a daily basis. Alright, so guys, I want to talk about a request from one of my subscribers. Brandon Cheney, put a request in. He's struggling with a particular defense in his connected league, a connected CFM league, and he wants help on breaking this down. Well, first and foremost, I need to go ahead and show you guys how this defense works. And then we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and show you how we can break down this defense. That you can break it down. That's pretty easy. Easier than you think. Now, the defense is actually very good for somebody that likes to scramble with their quarterback. This is a really good defense to go and run. It's also a good defense to go ahead and use against somebody in long yardage and distance. There are holes in this defense, so you want to be cognizant of that. But it's very easy to set up, and it's a good defense to have in your back pocket. So if you do run a quarters 1-3-7 defense, you can jump into this in a passing situation and make sure you have a good pressure to go with. Alright, so basically the blitz is extremely easy to set up. It's man coverage. You've got a single high safety. All you're really going to do is you're going to press your defenders, you're going to QB contain, and then you're going to pass commit. That's actually going to set up probably one of the easiest, most effective defenses. The final thing you're going to do is you're going to either blitz your defender or put him on a bluff blitz. It's pretty much your choice. That's actually going to go ahead and give the offensive line thinking that there's going to be a defender that actually is going to float in the area. Now, what's going to happen with this particular defense is that you're generally going to get a free blitzer off the edge. So it's going to force your opponent to go ahead and be a little bit more aggressive with their blocking, because you're always going to get a free defender in the area. Now, the key once again to this particular blitz is making sure that you actually go ahead and do pass commit. Pass commit is going to be that type of situation where it's going to make the blitz more effective. If you don't pass commit, the defense is not going to be effective. Now, my job is to play center field and make sure that any kind of crossing routes or anything over the middle he does not have access to. So you can see it gets in very quick. It's going to force him to make a fast read, and a lot of times if people are waiting for a route to develop, this is going to put yourself in a very good situation. So let's go ahead and take a look at this defense if you decide to go ahead and block a running back, and how that actually factors into the equation. But one more time, I want to just show you how the consistent pressure comes off the edge. You do want to put your fastest defensive backs on the inside so they can do that. Now let's go ahead and put our running back into a blocking position. So we got a running back blocking right now, and watch this interesting thing that actually happens when you snap the ball. You're still going to get some edge pressure that's going to come off the edge. The blocking running back is not going to go ahead and take that on. So that's actually what's cool about this particular blitz, is that you're going to essentially force your opponent to go ahead and ID the mic. And if he's not doing that type of thing, you're still going to be able to get very effective pressure in there. So you can see the guy did jumble up right there, but in that type of situation, the pressure was coming off. So what if you actually go ahead and block 7? Well, it's going to help. It's going to take care of that blitz. The blitz actually will get bottled up by that, but it actually goes ahead and takes away one of the type of situations that your opponent is probably going to go ahead and try to take care of. So if you could see right here, a lot of guys like to run, but in this defense, I'm going to show you an instant replay because I just don't have 4 hands. Let's go ahead and show this in instant replay. What's going to happen is that you've got 3 guys on routes, and you've obviously playing your guy over the middle, but these guys play like spies. So they're going to take over any kind of a dragging route or any kind of a middle route, and then if you try to take off the quarterback, they're going to be right here to go ahead and take away any kind of a run with the quarterback. So you got a guy that likes to maybe run 3 wide receiver routes and then take off the quarterback. This defense is going to shut it down. So you got to understand what type of routes are going to beat this type of defense. So let's go ahead and switch over on offense, and then show you how we can go and beat this defense. All right, so against this defense, I'm going to block 7, I'm going to go ahead and take my wide receiver and have 2 slants. I got 2 slants going 2 different directions to give myself a check down, and I've got a lob with Garcon. Now the other thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and max protect, and you're going to do that by actually going ahead and hitting the left bumper, sliding your protection either off to the right or to the left, and then actually doing ID the mic off to a blitz or off the opposite side. So that's the way you want to go ahead and run this blitz. Now the way this blitz works is that you've got that defender coming off the edge, and because these safeties are actually going to be covering people. So the first thing we're going to do with this particular this play is we're going to take a look at Garcon, because he's getting pressed, and what's going to happen is a lot of times if you give yourself time, you should be able to go and beat the guy just off a basic press on the outside receiver. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and look at the matchups with your defenders, just to see if who's going to get the best opportunity. So let's go ahead and set this up again. So I've got the defense set up, and basically what we're going to do is to take Garcon, streak him up, and just block our tight end right there to give us a 7th blocker. And 9 out of 10 times you're going to go ahead and beat that guy for a big play. So that's going to open up your defense, or open up that defense a little bit, because if he presses like that, you should be able to do that. So it's really about blocking that 7th blocker and then understanding your routes. Now the reason we have the slants is that it just gives you another read. Now the problem with the slants is that you do have to wait until they get past the area, but you also be able to pick up some pretty monster yards that way. Drag routes are good, but they're just a little bit easier to bite on. So we could conceivably go ahead and do this type of a setup where we've got a drag, a slant. So with the pressure, you've got that. My recommendation is probably have 2 crossing routes. You could probably either go with 2 drag routes or 2 slants. Slants get a little bit more depth, so it's really going to penalize the guy if he's not paying attention. So you might be able to set it up like this too. So you got the drag that you can hit, and because you have that backside wide receiver going off, you should be able to go ahead and hit that too. Now you could do a quick out as another option, but that play might get actually chucked right there. So wherever the blitzing corners are coming from, that's going to give you an opportunity to go ahead and tackle with a quick out. But see, the key is actually just blocking enough guys to be able to give yourself an opportunity. So just got rid of that ball a little bit too quick. Let's see if we can get that off again. So a little out route like that is actually going to be susceptible to this defense. So you pretty much can play games with your opponent. You just got to be committed to blocking 7. And that's going to be the key to it. Making sure that you pop him with a streak route, because if you pop it and rack it, he's going to have a hard time. But running with your quarterback, it won't be an option, because when you do block 7, those 2 guys are going to fall into spies. So this actually might be a good defense. If you're not using it already, and maybe you find it in your playbook out of the quarters 1, 3, 7, you might want to consider using this defense in passing type situations, throwing it in your scheme, because it's a fairly effective defense. So once again, to my subscribers, I really appreciate the support. In particular, thank you, Brandon, for reaching out to me. Hopefully this will help you, give you just the confidence. I would go in and just lab this and go in and just get the confidence back that you can steal this defense away from this guy. Now, if he's using this and actually dropping guys back in the zones and doing different types of hybrid defenses, I don't really have much of an answer for you, because that's just the name of the game. Obviously he's building the entire scheme. But if he does, to make this blitz work effectively, he has to go ahead and pass commit. And when you pass commit, your defensive line is likely to give up more yardage off the runs. That's one thing to remember. So thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.